Jamaica scored high marks on its IMF tests for another quarter. The island states surpassed the targets set by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) for both the primary balance and the net international reserves for the quarter ending September 30, 2015. Co-chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee (EPOC), Richard Biles, shared the figures, which he says is good news for the country, on Thursday.
Primary balance, we recorded 50.8 billion and the target was 40 billion. So we exceeded that quite handsomely. The NIR stands at 2.4 billion US and the target was 1.4 billion US. So once again, a very safe margin by which we pass both of these critical quantitative targets for the IMF program. Revenue generally is on target, in fact, very slightly ahead of target, 0.5 billion. So not much ahead, but just a little bit. And revenue is way ahead of last year by 25 billion or 13%.
Mr. Biles adds that tax collections are ahead of target, which may be the first time it has surpassed target since the program began. Tax collections exceeded the country's target by 2.6%, which translates to about $5 billion.
That's quite significant, and they're better than last year by $26.6 billion, or 16% more. So in the past, we have been quite concerned, if not critical, of the tax targeting and the tax collections. And what they have shown us this quarter and this year to date is that they can achieve those targets even when they're more aggressive than last year. In terms of the taxes that performed beyond expectation, corporate tax over by 1.9 billion, and compared to last year, over by 3.1 billion. Sales tax up also 2 billion and GCT 1.9 billion. But remember, government is paying GCT now, so that GCT 1.9 billion more needs to be seen in that context.
Despite the gain, two taxes underperformed. PAYE fell short by $0.5 billion and customers' duty dipped by $0.8 billion. Grants also lagged behind the budget by $3 billion. The EPOC chairman adds that expenditure for the quarter ending September falls below budget at $13.8 billion.
Wages in particular underspent by $3.9 billion at the end of September. But as I think many people know, in October, some of the back salaries as negotiated by civil service, etc., were paid. I think that amounted to $3 billion. So as I think we said last time, that wage number is going to catch up with budget very shortly. Interest expense also below budget, $3.4 billion. But as I think we mentioned last time too, the cost of raising the $2 billion bond hasn't been booked as yet, and when it is, that interest costs will come in line with budget. Capital expenditure, however, down $6.5 billion, lagging $6.5 billion. And I'm told this has to do with just the inability of government to get those projects going. Doesn't have anything to do with holding back on the projects.